So in 2017, Andrew took me in the Grand Canyon on a research launch. And we went into the Grand Canyon and sampled the Tackett sandstone in several different places and sampled these folds. Let me show you on a map where we went.
Oh yeah, I'd love to see that.
So this is a geological map. You can see it's been well used.
Well used. I've had this out in the Grand Canyon many times in my pack.
You know, I can tell that if you're going to be a geologist, you need to learn how to unfold and fold maps.
That's right. Yeah, you'll notice that this is a very colorful map.
Yeah.
Every color on here is a different kind of rock layer.
When we floated down the canyon and looked at the layers, these colors now represent what we were seeing.
Yep. Every color is a different layer. Mm-hmm. The Grand Canyon goes through here. It starts way up here. In fact, the very upper part is not even on the map, but it comes down through this way, wraps around down this way, goes off the map over there, and this is just the eastern part.
Yeah.
There's a whole nother western part that sits over there, and Lake Mead after that.
Is Carbon Canyon on here?
Yep. Yes, Carbon Canyon is up here. Okay, here we come down just below 60 Mile Rapids here. We took a regional sample just above the Little Colorado River, and we came down here, parked, and Carbon Canyon is up here. Okay. And here's the fault line. And the fold is right on that fault line. That's the Butte Fault. And you can see it's a north-south, and that marks the edge of that monocline.
Yeah. So this is where you took the samples?
Yes, parked the boats, walked up to the fold. Carbon Canyon is a side canyon to the main Grand Canyon, and it cuts through the folded layers in the East Kaibab monocline. So we're coming up the drainage here of Carbon Creek, and got to go left and climb up this scree slope where there's steps. And so by hiking up Carbon Canyon, we come to the place where the Tackett sandstone is actually bent through 90 degrees in a spectacular bend without the shattering. If we look ahead, we can follow the layering essentially horizontal. And as we get towards the end of the canyon here, you can see the layers turn up to the skyline, almost vertical. So you can see the bend in the rocks. You know, you've been there before, but you've only got a mental picture. Now you're there in front of it. You want to check your strategy. You've already thought about what your strategy is, but now you've got to look. Can I trace one particular band in the rock layers through the fold?
We've put orange duct tape in places where we want to sample, and that helps us keep track of the bed, so we make sure we follow the same bed through here. On my camera, I've got a GPS unit, and so when I take a photograph, if the GPS is locked in, it will tell me precisely where I took the photograph and where our sample came from.
It's getting really upfront and personal with the rocks. Take notes to record the location of the sample, the thickness of the bed, the dip and strike of the layer, if we can obtain that information. So it's a very intense, and of course you're working on a cliff face, so you've got to watch your footage.
Oh, that's a biggie.
And then we would go in and we'd take those samples in the specified way and mark the sample so we knew where was the top of the bed, because you've got to orient it. Labels the bag, put an extra card in with a sample number. It's back to basics. This is about actually taking measurements in the field, observations in the field, making notes, and then going to look at the samples under the microscope. It's very basic geology. And then you get your samples and you get out of there as quickly as possible back to a more hospitable place.
You're in Disneyland here, yeah?
Yep, absolutely.
What is this to a geologist?
This is heaven on earth.